All right, we are back for our last review of our absolute value unit. It's a little unit, but it's okay. Don't forget hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. We're still less than 50 subscribers away, so get out there and make those connections. Okay, for those that don't know, this is instructional time. This is me teaching. So this is really when you might want to pay attention. All right. So a couple of things. Uh, for those that don't know, I allow my students to have an orange sheet to have them prepared for the test. Very similar to how the engineers get to take anything they need for their PE test. So that's not physical education. So here are some things that I went ahead and wrote down, uh, kind of as things I would want on my orange sheet because I guess there was some you know people are like there wasn't a lot of stuff on your orange sheet example. Well, that was me, so maybe I need to do something better. All right, so part one, make sure the absolute value is isolated. That means it's on one side by itself. Okay, if you don't know what isolated means, then you might want to choose a different word. Okay, write the guts twice. Set one equal to the original and one equal to the evil twin. Now, if some of these words seem foreign to you, that's because you have not been paying attention. Then solve like normal equations. Aha! I even put this one down here as a kicker. Make sure the answers are written x equals number, comma, number. Okay? Number, comma, number. Saw something on the Tic Tac this morning. There was a teacher that was reading emails that was sent to him by students, and a lot of them was like, "Hey, Vro, VRO, can you a dollar sign AP grade my essay on the Skibbity, or I'm gonna alpha volcano, volcano, volcano." Yeah, it was really funny. Like they were emailing their teacher, like apparently they would text their friends, and because it said essay, I'm guessing this would be an English teacher. Oh, I would. It was quite the hilariousness. Okay, and again, today's break is brought to you by Bee Hall Honey. And FYI, the Bee Hall Honey merch store shuts down next Monday, September the 30th. So I'll have the link up later. You can get a coffee cup like mine, some of the cool T-shirts I have, even the new heather red and military green one. All proceeds go to, the Bee Hall Honey Company, which means over during fall break I have to apply for my LLC. So that's going to be fun. It's like a legal liability certificate or something like that. Because, yeah, if I do it as a business, like my business model is really bad because the startup cost for this stuff is really high. Yeah, everybody's like, well, you made so much money in like 2 hours. I'm like, yeah, but I've also spent 8 times more of that. hmm? Yeah. So, And there's no insurance in this either. So, oh, also I have to pay for registering my bees too with the Alabama Department of Agriculture. Cost me a whopping $4 last year for my 2 hives. All right. So let's see. Is the absolute value isolated? Yes, it is by itself. So I'm going to write the guts twice. Remember, the guts is what we have discussed is what's inside the absolute value. I'm going to write the original, and I'm going to write the evil twin. By the way, did anybody notice the numbers that are used in number one? 314. Does anybody know the significance of 314? That is pi. What is also the significance of 314 in this class? It's my birthday. Thank y'all. Okay, awesome. Appreciate it. Ouch. Now, I happened to mention that one day when it was, your favorite holiday. I wore my Pi Day shirt. Ouch. So, yes, notice I'm actually writing it as it should be written. Yes, there's going to be decimals. Yes, there's going to be fractions. I can tell you yesterday, Coach Kimbrew saw me making this practice test as we were in our faculty meeting, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm making tomorrow's work for the students." He says, "Oh," because he looked around and he was like, "I'm the only person that didn't have a device." Because he came straight from wherever he was. Now, technically, in a perfect world, you should literally just be checking your answers, not having to write down exactly what I've just written down. But, you know, whatever, Cheddar. So, I solved them like regular equations. Okay, solving equations I think is even a sixth grade thing now. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've had a sixth grader. Huh? I no, I mean my biological son has graduated in the spring, and my youngest stepson is now a senior. So it's been over 6 years. So yeah, nope. All right, moving on. Number two, is the absolute value isolated? What does that mean? Is it by itself? No, it's not. I'm going to have to divide by 3. I think this is 17. I hope 81 is divisible by 3. Nope, it's 27. I was just making up numbers, so some of these answers could have been really interesting today. 20, 27 and negative 27. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh well. 9 by 5 divided by 5. Can't have nothing. So x equals 34 over 5. 5x equals negative 20. Negative 4. Or That is correct, right? Okay, good. Either one. You could do the improper fraction or the decimal. What's funny is the first year here, I had a student argue with me that leaving the answer as an improper fraction was more work than leaving it as a decimal. I said, "How is that?" I said, "You just literally leave the top number over the bottom number instead of dividing it in the calculator." This was also the same student that made a 57 on the final when the study guide was the final without the multiple choice questions. I just took away the multiple choice and I gave them a legal cheat sheet. Yeah, it was awesome. Yes. Yes, you may go to the restroom. Somebody else's timer is not on their timer today. So something is wrong in the universe. All right. We good? Yes, no, maybe so. Catch the tiger by the toe. So this one, not isolated. So now 6x minus 6, 6x minus 6 equals 6. Is that what y'all were laughing at? That I kept writing 6? Your room is haunted by your dead hamster? I, one of the students told me to do it, so I don't know why I wrote the other 6. Maybe I was having a YOLO moment. Or maybe all my caffeine hasn't kicked in yet. Now, as far as examples for pulling examples over for part one for my orange sheet, uh, either number two or number three or both would be fine because both of them show um, you know, I, that the absolute value isn't isolated. So, I mean, I could zoom out, scroll down, take a snip. And some of y'all have actually started doing the actual snip thing because y'all have been cutting out stuff and taping it to your orange sheet or stapling it, which is pretty ingenious, I do admit. All right. For part 2, it's very similar to part 1. What I've typed out. Make sure absolute value is isolated. Write the guts twice. Evil twin. Saw that normal. All right. If absolute value is being eaten, the graphs go away from each other. So that means, yes, you may go to the bathroom. That looks like this. This one, if the absolute value is not being eaten, then the graphs go toward each other. Okay. Now, that's also by reading the inequality. Remember, the alligator eats the bigger thing. So, you know, I would, and it's almost like this stuff was from your notes. What? What? All right. So, number 2, or part 2, number 4. Original, original, or guts. There we go. Original, evil twin. Ah, I forgot. I didn't flip the sign on for this one. So, then we solve. So I get x is less than or equal to negative 10, or x is greater than or equal to 10. Negative 10, close circle, up and over. 10, close circle, up and over. There you go. Pretty much the same thing, just with a little twist. A little extra spice. A little kick of cayenne. Okay. This one looks funky because it started off with the negative. See, Evil Twin is all about perspective. If you came from Bizarro World, the Evil Twin would be the person that does all the good stuff. All right. Number 5. Well, it's already isolated. I really wish you would just do what it's supposed to. Yes. All right, so negative 78 over 7 is somewhere over here because I said so. And 10 is right here because I said so. And I that's a weird decimal. So I just left it as a like nothing repeats. And for some odd reason y'all are not good at rounding. All right, so that was number 5. Number 6. Make this a little bit bigger. It's not isolated. All right, I actually divided by a negative, so I have to flip my sign. Equal to negative 4. All right, so here's negative 4, close circle. Here's 2, close circle. X is greater than negative 4, but less than 2. Just think about it. This time next week, we won't be seeing each other. I know y'all will be so upset. Again, problems I would have grabbed for this would have been, I would actually grab number 6. What? Sure. Notice I'm grabbing the ones that you would have to do stuff to isolate them. Oh, she's going to want you to lock that back. Okay. Okay. Somebody's going to have to lock the door back after the two potty people leave. Okay. Because I would choose these two because you actually have to do something to isolate them. All right. So for number seven, this is what was at the very top of the page for your notes yesterday. That's what I wrote down for or copied in for my orange sheet. Okay. Now, hopefully, nobody in this class will ask me how many problems are on the test tomorrow. Same exact as today. All right. Now, A is the number between the equal sign and the absolute value bar. What is that number? Exactly, 1. H is the opposite of what's written here. So this would be -5. And K is whatever this is. So +4. All right. K also goes right here. And H goes right here. Now, to fill these in, just like a number line, all right, and this goes by a ratio of 1A. So I'm adding 1 each time. So this would be 5 and 5 and 6 and 6. Now, does anybody want to take a guess at the number one question I've had about these two problems in both blocks? How do I graph? And the number one question, which one's the x-axis and which one's the y-axis again? Okay, we always start from where they meet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That was a good one. All right. Do if you're not awake, you are now, or you aren't awake. That was a good one. Oh. Notice how I'm extending the lines all the way up. Very classy. Very nice. Very. Yeah, I wasn't going to say it. But look, you literally get 11 points for doing this stuff over here on the left and then 6 over here. Now, if you have issues graphing, you may want to take some notes about how to graph and put them on your orange sheet. Okay? Uh, on number 8, wow, I wrote down the thing that we've seen 3 times this semester. Why are people packing up like it's like 9:45? Okay. I was just wondering because, like, I'm not done and people are, like, physically and mentally checking out. Like, so it's okay. It's all right. Yeah. All right. All right. So if this is 1, 2, 3, 0, -1. All right. 1A. I'm adding -3 or subtracting 3 each time. Okay. Now, the other stuff we need to know is that this is going to be a dotted line and we are going to shade up. Now, tomorrow during the test, if you come to me and ask me how would I know which way to shade, if I start twitching, you may want to back up slowly. Now, this graph is worth a little bit more because there's a little bit more going on. Okay? The reason why the other graph is 6 points is because literally you're graphing 5 points. So that's 5 points right there. And then making the lines right. This is 8 points. The same 5 points, then you're shading and it's dotted. Okay? So a little bit more. All right. And we are going to shade above. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. And I'm done. That's today's lesson. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, hit the bell. Good stuff, good things. Roll Tide.